when you look at e-commerce or retail, uh, probably let's think of only the beverage space. What are some of the challenges that you think uh, really need to be solved at an entry level? And maybe once someone has onboarded, let's say with their own e-commerce store or they have onboarded on a marketplace, what are some of the growth marketing techniques that they should adopt in order to scale up their business from, let's say, presently doing $100,000 to $1 million a month? How can they do that? Any inputs on that?
Yeah, so you need to be really clear on who your target demographic is. And also in the beverage space, there are lots of restrictions, and Jason Wright is working on a solution in New York City for that. I don't work with the beverage space. I do work with beverage companies when it comes to cross branding, because I think cross branding and collaborating is another growth tool. So if you are already an existing brand and you are going to partner with another company, and maybe it's a charity event, people love
Hmm.
charity events, that gets your eyes, gets some spotlight on you. It also is easier for you to get press and press releases if you have a charity angle to tie in. So
Hmm.
one is, I think, starting and knowing who your target demographic is, knowing what channels they engage on, figuring out what kinds of content they would find interesting and it would really resonate. A lot of customers will say, everyone can buy my product, and that's true. It's a true statement. However, we want to really focus different tiers, like even in a beer line.
Hmm.
There's different products for different demographics. There's different marketing campaigns that will go to different subcategories too. So I think it's the same depending, no matter what your brand is, figuring out what your core target is, and then maybe some subcategories, thinking about who you can collaborate with. And I think nowadays, building community and showcasing that you really get the
Mm.
people that are buying from you,
Yeah.
that like you're listening to them, that you're staying engaged with them on social media,
Mm.
um, and that you're entering this world of community rather than like, hey, here's a cool product, buy me, like you want this. It's
Mm.
more so like, how can this benefit my life? How does this fit into my lifestyle? And showcasing that lifestyle. So I think, you know, for growth, really knowing who you're speaking to and creating that information. I mean,
Mm.
influencer marketing is super big right now
Yeah.
because people follow these people's lifestyles and they feel like, oh yeah, like there's
Mm.
people that are influencers that people will talk about like it's their actual friends, even
Yeah.
though they've never met this person, but they follow it and they're like, oh yeah, she recommended this thing. And so people think like, oh yeah, my life's kind of like her life, or I want my life to be like her life. And
Yeah.
when I follow her and she tells me to get certain things, people believe it. And it's just kind of like referral marketing,
Mm.
except for we don't necessarily know these people per
Yeah.
se.
Wow.
So I think a lot of it's community based, figuring out quality content that's going to engage,
Mm.
making sure that it resonates,
Yeah.
doing collaborations and partnerships, and then also, ad campaigns. So what are
Mm.
the right ad campaigns for the right people at the right time?
Yeah. Wow. Excellent insight that I'm